Okay guys, this is my first ever video tutorial, so wish me luck. You're going to take just a regular piece of fondant. Just make sure you work it so it's nice and smooth. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll it into a sausage shape. Then you're going to cut it into 4 pieces to start. Relatively the same size. The first piece you're going to roll into a very long sausage, and this is going to be the center core of your rose. The remaining 3 is just going to be a round ball. Okay, and if you don't have a mat like this, you could go to Staples and get one of the, I think they're just a regular plastic sheet protectors. That's also fine. I just have this on hand. So you're going to take all 4 parts, put it under your plastic sleeve, then you're just going to take your finger and flatten the first sausage, or the middle center of your rose, and then with your thumb you're just going to press down on what will become the 3 petals. Okay, pretty easy. Then you're just going to take your thumb, or the finger next to your thumb, and you're just going to trace the edges of the fondant. Oops. And this is just going to create kind of like a fine line. You could also create this with a ball tool if you have a ball tool. If you don't want to buy a ball tool, you could just use your finger. And same thing with what will become the petal. You're just going to take your finger and just trace on the edges to create a very thin, almost like a ribbony petal. And you're just going to do this for 3. And this is by far the easiest way to make a rose that I know. So you're going to take the middle part, and you're basically going to roll it in on itself. It's kind of a little tube. Okay? And that's what you end up with. Put that aside, and you're going to take what will become your petals. And if you could see, it has kind of a thin edge, which you can roll under later. So you're just going to take your petal and put it against the center part. I'm going to take the second one and kind of put it in a little bit to the first one. And then you're going to take your third one and tuck that in to the second one. And you're just going to wrap it around. And as easy as that, you have the beginnings of a rose. And you could keep adding petals to this. What I like to do, since the bottom is usually kind of mangly, I just rub it against the bottom of the sheet, and it kind of flattens it out for me. So then I'm going to cut 5 other little pieces. Okay, again, do it into a ball. Now I usually like to go thinner when I'm pressing these out, because the rose does tend to get bulky, which will add weight to the piece. So just bear that in mind. The bottom part, if it's not pressed down further, kind of becomes a thicker base. So just to bear that in mind when you're doing it. If you're putting on a buttercream cake in it's warm weather like I did yesterday, and just started to sag my buttercream, which wasn't pretty. Anywho, so again, we're gonna squish these down, petals, take your finger, and just rub it on the edge. And you do have to push these down kind of hard in order to get that thin edge that you're looking for. So there's kind of a little hump, you probably can't see it. So what I like to do is just make sure I push these down a little bit more, just to make sure that it's not too thick. Okay? And just go back around and smooth out the edges. Alright? So you're going to take your rose again, and just like you did for the first part, dot right there. Okay, so you're gonna place it on the outside, and again, just start tucking your petals into one another, slowly working your way around to the beginning. And the last piece, kind of bring it around. And you could take some sugar, water, or glue, edible glue, and kind of paint the petals, but I don't like to do that because once you put the glue on, it's very hard to move things around if it needs to be adjusted, so that's totally your call. I just don't like to do that. So, and you end up with your rose. Sometimes you could take a toothpick, or if you don't have really small hands like fairy hands, which I wish I had, and just roll over the edges just a little bit more to give it more of a texture and dimension. But again, this is totally up to you how you want your rose to look. And literally this could take a minute or two to do, rather than getting your cutters out, getting your ball tool out, getting a whole bunch of tools out. Really easy, simple sugar rose. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Alright, bye!